What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope y'all been having a great Wednesday, a great week so far. There's a lot going on that's about to be going on in the weather world, and severe weather is definitely going to be the major topic in the weather world. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to go over, and it all starts Friday when we have a severe weather event that begins to unfold in the south central U.S. and begins to spread east as we get into Saturday. And it looks like the severe weather chances are increasing if we're going off the long-range NAM, which is not always smart to go off of, but it's good guidance to look to see if an event is trending up or down once it starts to get out the GFS and the Europeans kind of longer range, when we can start to look in shorter range modeling. So we can really start to get a good idea in some short range of what's going on. That's what we're going to take a look at and see what's trending higher, and what I think is trending higher for places like Georgia and the Carolinas for severe weather as we get into Saturday. It's definitely going to be a big time system around this weekend that's going to deliver a lot of beneficial rain. But before we get going, if you guys have not subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button for sure. It's a great way to support me. Definitely like the video if you have not liked, definitely like the video if you do like the video, and it helps to get the video out there in the YouTube algorithm. So basically, the more likes a video has, the more this video will show up. So thank y'all for the amazing continued support. If you got any prayers that I could pray for, or anybody else in the comments can pray for, definitely drop them in the comments. It gives everybody an opportunity to be thinking of you, to be praying for you. And I've definitely benefited from you guys praying for you. I feel like I've been very blessed lately. Some of you guys have reached out to me and helped and just been very helpful. I'll just leave it at that. So thank you all for the incredible support. So let's get going here. First off, I'm going to jump on this really quick here. Man, I was hoping it was already up, but I guess it's not. So we're just going to get past this. Basically, there's some red flag warnings out there, so it's very dry. There's freeze warnings, frost advisories across the eastern U.S. It's going to be a cold night, and that's because the winds are whipping in a lot of areas. There's a cold front moving through just about to sweep the whole entire eastern U.S. except the southern tips of Florida. But this front stretching all the way into the Gulf of Mexico. It's a big-time cold front, so it's going to be very chilly tomorrow morning. Let's just leave it at that. So definitely protect plants that are sensitive to frost. It might not be a very major big frost deal because of the high winds, but just in case, if you live in Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, definitely the more north you get in that, you need to protect plants if you already plant them. But let's get off that topic, because I know the main reason people are watching this is because of the severe weather, and honestly, this is the most things we need to be talking about. So Friday, I really think a dry line scenario is going to set up. We're going to get some explosive supercells. It's going to produce some big time hail. So that's why there's a slight risk or a very, very large area, as you can tell. So this has some wiggle room. This has a chance to go up to level 3 out of 5, which is an enhanced risk, which is a little orange shading here. And then so going forward here, day 4 to 8 outlook. This is the big thing we need to start to watch here. You look at day 4, and let's see if I can get to stop at that. Here we go. So, okay, or not. So this is day 4. So this is Saturday and the Sunday. There's already a 15% chance of severe weather. This is pretty significant because it has a chance to probably upgrade to a slight risk, maybe as early as tomorrow morning. So there's going to be an area in the Gulf that we're going to talk about here that has a chance for significant weather, and the NAM is really wanting to think that this is going to be a big time area. Briefly want to mention this too. Day 7, 15% chance they're already saying of severe weather at day 7 in the south central U.S. You see the area it's covered. Guys, this is a big deal. I think this is the first time this has happened in a couple of years. So National Weather Services out of Oklahoma and Texas are already throwing alarming words, and they're basically in their discussions saying that this has all the makings, according to the GFS and European, of a major outbreak of storms. So we're going to talk about this more and more in the coming days, especially as you get into the weekend. Also, I want to mention that I might chase this. If I do, it'll be the furthest west I've ever been. So it's something I'm thinking about, and my boss has already gave me the okay to go check it out. I've never been on a chase like that. It'll be a great experience. But we'll see how it happens. We're going to talk about this a lot more. But let's check out this real quick. I did want to mention it's going to get chilly. These are low temperatures overnight. I know I didn't get much talk about this earlier in the video, but check it out. Low temperatures, the entire mountains of North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia, going all the way up to the northeast. It's going to be below freezing. So there's definitely going to be a frost potential even outside the mountains in the Carolinas and the Georgia. But I don't think it's going to be at that high of a frost potential because I think the winds are going to still be going on overnight. So let's check it out here. This is the NAM, and this is the 3 km NAM. So this only goes out to 60 hours. But as we're going, we get to the end of the NAM, and this is getting into basically the territory of Friday late evening into overnight. You're getting this low pressure starting to pop off. You're getting low pressure right here. You're getting a big time area of moisture coming out the Gulf, and you have a nasty line of storms that probably is developing off isolated supercells that may form in Texas and Oklahoma. We'll see how this develops, especially as we get into the HRRR model range. Normally, that does a great idea of telling us if this is legit or not, especially when we get in that long-range RRR modeling range of 48 hours. That kind of tells us, hey, is this going to be serious or not? Is this going to hold on to the idea that the NAM is showing or not? So we're getting into the 12 km range of NAM, which goes out to 84 hours. And this system keeps going into Saturday. One thing I want to mention is for once in Dixie, it looks like the system is going to go through the Deep South in a less favorable time of the day for explosive storms to develop. Basically, you're going to have some early morning convection that's going to fly through the Deep South like Mississippi, Alabama, and potentially Georgia. And this is going to be a big chunk of heavy precipitation. This is going to be a big factor on if basically our severe weather chances up here in the Carolinas and North Georgia are kind of tampered down a little bit because morning convection can keep more stable conditions into the afternoon, and that basically the atmosphere doesn't have time to recover as you get into the afternoon. So will this kind of rob some of the moisture? And these, I know this doesn't look like much, but these are little storms right here, down here, that we have to kind of watch out for Saturday evening to see if we can get some individual explosive storms as this main energy kind of pulls through. So I know I'm a Gamecock fan, so here in South Carolina specifically, things like the spring game for the Gamecock football. I know we're playing Arkansas in baseball for the game 3. It's going to be heavily impacted by weather Saturday. I can tell you that right now. So if you got plans, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think it's going to be a big time washout. And there's going to be a chance Saturday afternoon and evening for severe weather across the southeast, especially down here. So we're going to watch to see how this develops. Dew points are a big thing. You look for, basically, it's not so much as temperatures, but you look for the warm front really off dew points. So basically, you got the cold front coming, and you got how far north is the warm front going to rise. That creates a sector. We call that the moist sector or the warm sector. So as it's moving through, the front's coming through here. We're more stable air, dew points in the 50s and 40s, but you have some kind of frontal boundary moving through here, and that's what you call the warm front. How far north is that going to move temporarily to create a moist atmosphere, a more destabilized atmosphere? Well, if you're going off the NAM, which could change, you get a rise in dew points into the Saturday afternoon evening range, well into the 60s and even 70s near the Gulf Coast. So you got the dew points, you got the moisture there for severe weather for sure. So you move on, and bear with me. I'm about to start going through the pivotal weather range, and if y'all been watching my videos the last few weeks, I just got pivotal. It's kind of slow, but I want to show you this really quick. This is the NAM, the 12KZ NAM, and I know this doesn't look like much, but you take a sounding off that, and bear with me a second. And it basically is going to show probably some severe weather, a tornado hazard. You have some looping hodographs here. You have some decent CAPE, big time significant hail here, and supercells. So basically this is telling me with this sounding that we could have definitely some supercells developing in Texas as we get into Friday evening. This gets going here and starts moving, a low pressure pops off, and this kind of turns into a messy convection system as we get into Mississippi and Alabama. We get a little bit further east. Like I said, bear with me, this will pop up here. And yeah, it doesn't look that scary because we're looking at 12, kind of the 12 km NAM, which really isn't that big time discrete. It doesn't show high resolution of what's going on. But to me, this has the looks of basically a line of storms, a very heavy rain with embedded storms. And it gets going through the early morning hours. And as we're getting going here, this is going to move into the Carolinas, dump a lot of beneficial rain. But as we get in basically into the evening hours and afternoon hours of Saturday, we're going to have the chance for some stronger storms. Now, this is the big time thing you want to watch here. I'm going to show you this again. Look at the moisture. It's going to be very dry tomorrow and the next couple of days as you have the remnants of basically a cold front leaving dry, stable air in place. But as you get into Saturday, dew points are going to spike. It's beginning Saturday morning, depending on where you are from west to east. And this is that moist sector I'm talking about. Look at dew points. These are dew points, not temperatures. Look how I'm spiked. So this kind of symbolizes to me, does the NAM have the warm front too far north? It has a warm front all the way into the North Carolina-South Carolina border probably, if you're going off dew point boundaries. So this is a pretty great moisture feed. Look at the next thing here. I think the next thing up here I got is Cape. If it would pull up. Thank you. So Cape here, you got going here. There's not a big time flex in Cape at all. Very marginal Cape, not even 500 joules per kilogram. But in this case, you might not need a ton. Just throw a little bit into the equation. The more north you have a warm front, the more Cape you have. And that, yeah, it's not even 500. It's not even barely 100. So not a lot of Cape if you're going off the NAM. Definitely need more Cape if you're going to have more severe weather. But you don't always need a lot. You need some, but the more you throw into the equation, the more nastier it's set up. But here's the Supercell composite right here. Those are pretty high values, especially as you get into South Carolina. There's a pretty high values of Supercell composite, so this might be contaminated a little bit, but for sure this could, for Central South Carolina, this could start. It's just a marginal threat right here because it's mainly into the. I kind of clicked the wrong area. I think it moved on me, but basically. It's pretty high. It spikes into the Carolinas. It kind of rides the warm front. It has the warm front going all the way into North Carolina. Now, last thing I want to look at is the energy helicity. Basically, this is a combination of Cape and low-level shear. Now, look at here. I'll stop it right here. This is pretty high. To me, this tells me that there is going to be a tornado threat if you're going off the NAM for Georgia into the Carolinas. I don't know if this is going to verify. I'm sure there's going to be many tweaks in the coming days. Well, I say coming days like we have a lot of days, but in the next Thursday into Friday. But if we're going off the NAM, severe weather chances are definitely increasing for the southeast for this event. So it might not just be a heavy rain threat. So we'll continue to watch this. It's definitely something we need to watch because Saturday's a big day for a lot of activities. So might get very active. Might be out chasing Saturday and then chase earlier in the week. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the amazing support. And I'll have another video up tomorrow when we have more information.